how did it all start anyway? Like right back to the beginning.
Oh
before.
my gosh. I just jumped on Insta, I think 4 years ago when she was born, and I just played around with it. You know, when you actually use the filters, like those days, like, it's like, oh yeah, like pretending to do like pretty food posts. And then it became a way to meet people.
Okay.
But in the whole parenting space, I just didn't see myself.
Yeah.
I saw all the big parenting names, and I saw them with these great followings, and I was like, wow, none of you are minorities. And even though you're all white, you're all middle class.
Yeah. It's not
like, there are no variables here. It's like, you have to be this way, you have to have a fringe, you have to wear a striped t-shirt, this is what you have to have, the latest bugaboo. And I was like, oh wow, my bugaboo was second hand, because we were dirt poor when we had her on a wish and a prayer, like, okay.
And buggies are not cheap. Set up this Instagram for filters and for your daughter. And did it just organically just become...
It was very hodgepodge back in the day. I didn't, so I went to work.
Okay.
I went to work in publishing, marketing department, Penguin Random House, loved them.
Okay.
I was there for almost 2 years, but Esme was too young. She was only 2. And that whole running, 4:59, running from your desk, you're sweating, panting. Childminders want more money because you're late because the train. I was like, wow, I think I'm trying to do this at the wrong time. So I handed in my resignation. Papa B was petrified, because it's like, okay, we're going back to one wage again. What are you going to do? But whilst I was in the marketing department, influencer marketing just started to boom.
Okay.
And I used to speak to a lot of influencers on the phone, right, we've got this title out, and I was like, I could fully do what you do,
Yeah.
But I know it takes time to grow that kind of audience. So even though I was handing in my resignation, in the back of my mind, there was always this plan. There was like, I'm going to use the internet to work for myself. I don't know how, and I don't know how long this is going to take. But because I've worked with these people, I know I can do it. And I can also see a massive gap in the market.
See, just to stop you, I love this. I think there's too many people that will say, you know what? I didn't know. It was a hobby. I didn't know if it would go anywhere. I didn't really care. Actually, it's a business. The same way if I become a hairdresser, I like cutting hair. If I'm a hairdresser, I'm doing it to make money.
Yeah, it's a business.
And I think nobody stops and says that. Actually, I saw a gap in the market. I didn't just, take a few pictures and hope for the best.
Yeah.
I made it my business to make myself money. And in turn, self-employed and
this
be able to work from home with your children.
This is it.
Okay.
And it was like, I don't know how, I followed a lot of people's style for a long time till I found my own. But then I learnt about Final Cut Pro. I learnt about all the editing programs. I bought myself like 8 secondhand Canon cameras.
Wow.
I learned all those skills that I was like, okay, one day someone's going to pay me for all of this. But you have to take that leap. And you kind of have to go into the red for a bit. Because I didn't make money
you
for
invested in
years.
yourself. Okay.
But it was like, well, I'm going to be at home anyway.
I'm here.
So what else? What else is popping? There's nothing going on.
So you had your daughter when you weren't an influencer of any kind. How, other than financially, do you find there's a big difference in A, your approach to parenting, but B, now that you were saying you started because there was no one that looked like you. Do you find there are more women that are like you in some way? So it may not be black women, it may be working class women, it may be
the pool, the room has got more varied. The circle has widened. It's not that great. But I can look and be like, oh that's different. Loving that. And more than that, all the mums who do deserve to be there, the white middle class mums, they're all now realising where space has to be made for parenting styles and different kinds of parents. They're like, oh, we never even, and you don't.
It's privilege, isn't it? If you're in any sense, if you're from any certain privilege, whether that's female, male, black, white, gay, straight, whatever, you don't realise the minority.
I don't think about how a white woman feels every day. I'm just not one. So that's not at the top of my to-do list. But even now, with me trying to tell people to be more diverse, I've had to check myself. Because there's been many a times now, someone messaged me a couple of weeks ago and they were like, how do you feel now you're middle class? And I almost dropped the phone in the sink. I was like, what? And I was
but what a message to get from a stranger,
We've spoken, but we've never met in real life. I was like, okay, girl. And I went online and I done all of these "what class are you" tests, because I was like, I refuse to believe this. And I done like 7 tests, and back to back they were like, no, middle class. And I was like, I didn't even see how or where that happened. And so now when I speak to other people, I'm like, I have to check my privilege because I can afford to move my kids out of London and send my kids to certain after school classes.
Exactly.
Maybe I didn't have that privilege, but now they do. So
that's a nice place to talk from, because as you said, you didn't have it, but your children do. So there's growth in it.
Yeah.
Rather than coming just from being growing up middle class.
This is it.
Raising your children middle class. You've got different perspectives.
This is
which
it.
I think speaks to your audience.
When I take her, especially to Brixton now, she's like, Mum, it's so noisy.
It's too loud. It is very loud in Brixton.
She's like, it's really busy. Just like, and I have to giggle because I'm like, wow, I was fully raised on Brixton Hill. This is all I know, the haggling of the market. And she's like a little mouse. She's like, oh,
where are we? Let's go back to the countryside. I love that. And did you make a conscious decision to be? So you've obviously talked about body positivity and showing your body parts and stuff. How hard was that? Or is it not hard? Like, were you scared thinking, I'm going to just take my top off and show a picture? Like, is that something you really thought about? Or is it more just something you cared enough about that you were like, actually, this is just a woman's body? Because that, I think, does so much for women. The more we see that, the more you're like, okay, most mums are going to have stretch marks.
Yeah. Do you know what? I didn't worry about it at all. Because I thought, God, if anyone says anything negative, like you're in a bad space, and you don't actually want to recognise reality, so that's on you. But I know that my sister really struggled, and my sister's really slim. She's like a size 8'10", but she's got really loose skin and a lot of stretch marks, and she's really like, oh, I wish I could show people what the reality was. Wow. And I don't feel that, even though I've got stretch marks and my skin's not loose, but it's getting there, I don't feel as insecure as she does. And I was like, well, I'll take one for the team, because it doesn't, but you know, this is it. I'm like, yo, my son was almost 10 pounds.
Wow.
I'm only 4'11" and a half.
You're
like,
tiny.
I'm going, things are gonna change here. And like, you accept it, and it's hard to say learn to live with it, but you move in a space of understanding, especially women's bodies. It's a constant transition.
Absolutely.
And I look at my nan's body now, her body is banging. I'm like, you've had these 2 kids, but you're still fit and able-bodied. And it's like, I don't want to spend the best years of my life like hiding.
No, exactly. I agree.
You know?
When I found your page, I was like, there are so many mum influencers, but it's quite glossy. So they might touch on that, but they might not show. Or they may, I don't know, I just think it's really refreshing that there's a conversation being had where it's actually like, this is just normal.
It is.
This is just what we deal with.
And my mum always used to be naked. Like, when friends would come around, you'd have to text her first, be like, Mum, I beg you, like, put some actual clothes on. Friends are coming. And that was really good for my sister and I. And really good for my brother.
You've got a brother, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's
amazing. Even now, he's like, because he's only 16, he's like, Mum, friends are coming round. Could you just put a long top on? Like, she's always naked, but he, at 16, completely gets it.
See? And when he is 25 and meets a woman, he's going to be like, that's just normal, because my mum looks like that.
This is it.
Also, aside from like just an influence of motherhood in itself, did you find it hard at the beginning? Maybe just with like first baby, that early couple of stages, those months when it all feels like not normal.
It was horrific, especially with Esme.
I like that.
Emergency C-section.
Okay.
She was born on the day my dad died, so there was already all of this emotion. Then about 5 days later, I had the C-section. The wound was like oozing green pus. I smelt like a rotting pig. Rushed back to hospital, like level 3 sepsis. My dad died of sepsis, so now all of this emotion. God, intensive care for 2 weeks. Wasn't allowed to see her. They were scared she contracted sepsis because I've been trying to breastfeed. And literally, when everything was discussed, it was partly my age that saved me.
Okay, you're a young woman.
If you were any older, it was the fact
awful.
that prior to her, I was really into exercise. Not so much now, but I was really healthy. They were like, anyone else who came in with sepsis this acute, it would have been there is nothing we can do for you. They were like, you don't know how lucky you are. So I didn't really start to get to know Esme until she was about 5-6 weeks old. She lived with my stepdad and my mum at the time. So with her, like...
Wow, that is...
the worst springboard ever. And
wow.
I think...
And your first time mum, first time dad.
This is it. And I think that really put a block in how I bonded with her.
100%. How could it not?
This is it. Yeah. And my idea of parenting was like, wow, this is really rubbish. Second time,
okay.
Number one, I'll be on, and I think more people need to be honest about this. When you have a traumatic first experience, we didn't even know if we were going to go through with that pregnancy.
Okay.
We really had to sit down and be like, is it worth my life?
100%.
Because that's all we know pregnancy to be. Someone's going to die or end up, you know, close to. So is it worth that? Are there things we can do to avoid all of those complications? Which added to the fact that we had to get out of London. Okay. I was like, I don't want to give birth in the same hospital as where...
Yeah. I just... You've got that horrible, like,
This is it. Moved out of London where I wouldn't say the care is better, but it's more refined because it's not as densely populated and people have got more time. Had the same midwife all the way through. They were very caring. And once they heard what happened with Esme, they were like, listen, the only option for you is elective C-section. Okay. We're not having nonsense. We're not taking risks. He was breech anyway, so he was in agreement. We had a date set. They overbooked, so he ended up being born on my 30th birthday. I was like, these children.
Yeah, I had that 5 days before my 30th.
Like, you're testing me. You're testing
So same birthday?
Yeah, same birthday. We're both on the 14th of March. And it's so funny, when I call the doctor, they're like, what's his birthday? And I always go, I'm like, oh yeah, the same day as me. And having him completely how can I say repaired the tragicness that was Esme, and I love her dearly, but the birthing experiences, which in turn make the parenting experiences so different. He is so chill, and I know it's because he's come into this world where no one's screaming. There's no fuss. Everyone's expecting
you. And you were more chill because you weren't going through that horrific sounding situation.
I was like, okay, what will be, will be. Whereas with her, everyone's in your face, screaming and shouting. Oh my God, rush to surgery, all of this hype.
Wow, that's a lot. And the final question, because I will wrap because he's awake and I want to have your afternoon. I've asked everyone, do you have like a mum life hack? Like something for you that has made things work? If you don't, you don't.
A mum life hack. Do you know what? In alignment with, say, like beauty and stuff, Esme, just sit down a second, my love. In alignment, it's like finding your look.
Okay.
So this is my makeup face, day, night.
Yeah, and this is good.
If I went to Buckingham Palace, like, this is the look. Because literally, I can do this in 20 minutes now. Fake lashes and all, like, him in one hand, like.
Wow, okay.
So, find your look.
And then I guess, doesn't matter what else is going on, you've got this that you know works. You can do it with one hand in the dark, no mirror.
And even if I've had this dress on for 4 days. So it's like, oh, trash below the neck, but neck up, I'm popping. And it's only because I have a look and I've got my go-to products, you know, like the Fenty foundation, the red lipstick.
I'm like, you do a red lip every day.
I'm like, oh, this is the look.
Yeah.
All right, fussy pants.
We are done. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.